Well, hello YouTube. Here we are. We have ourselves a start to another day. It's supposed to be a wonderful +7 Celsius morning. However, we may end up getting a weather change. Depends if the weather system that is in Edmonton comes this way. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So, here we go. Well, apparently they got snow in Edmonton, Alberta, which is only about 2.5–3 hours away, and quite often what they get, we get a couple days later. So, of course, looking at our forecast, they're not forecasting any changes like that, but however, they have been brutally wrong in the past. So wrong that sometimes they're actually opposite. So, of course, we'll have to see what shapes on out from all that. Well, it's been a few days since I have vlogged. Kind of just took a little breakaway. I dealt with a few things that were going on. Got some footage edited up, got some videos edited and uploaded, as well as took care of some other things that were going on. Not exactly sure where I was in the whole vlogging line of things, but a lot has happened in the last few days. Well, of course, I have had zero contact in the last couple of days with the buyer or the person that was interested in the Silverado. Given the way things go, probably he was just a tire kicker. And, well, really, I'll probably never hear from him again. However, he did want me to get the truck inspected, which is a cost out of my pocket. So, if he is a tire kicker, then, well, most definitely he will get a rather stern or rude email thanking him very muchly so for wasting my money getting a vehicle inspected that he had no intention of buying. Just wanted me to be short on bill money this month and makes him feel better, I suppose. But on the plus side, I guess it is good to have it inspected, because if and when he does back out, I can use that invoice in the classified ad saying, yeah, it only needs a windshield pass safety, which I'm pretty sure that's really all it needs, is maybe one or two small things. And I do understand why, because, well, it is a 14-year-old truck, and let's be honest, right? How many 2003 Silverados or Sierras, or even 2003 vehicles in general out there still are in as good shape as this one is? At least they're beat up and rusty, if not wore out mechanically, where this one here is neither beat up, rusty, or wore out mechanically. It was well took care of before I got it, and I haven't run it into the ground, nor have I even put kilometers on it, compared to, well, other vehicles. And like I said in past vlogs, the only reason why I'm entertaining on selling it is due to the injury of what I have here. Makes it difficult to drive, or, well, painful to drive it. So do I keep it around and drive it once in a while and let it sit for the other 360 days out of the year? Or do I let it go, let someone else enjoy it, and move on to something else? It's kind of one of them things, right? Do some math, do some research. You cannot buy a better vehicle, for the price I'm asking for this one. You cannot replace this vehicle for the price I'm asking for it. So, even when I go to buy my next automatic backup vehicle, I'll be paying a lot more than what I'm asking for this one, just to replace it, essentially, for really no real reason per se. So, of course, we'll have to see how it goes. If he is a tire kicker, well, it kind of is sort of a win-win no matter which way it goes. If he's not, well, then maybe he'll come out of the woodwork, and well, he'll be a real person. Well, of course, it's been a few days since I heard from the company that owns, or that I'm interested in buying the next project from. I did send them a deposit like last week, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would have sent an email saying, hey, I received your deposit, but I never received one from them, so I just sent them an email off saying, you know, what's up, right? Did you guys get my deposit, or did you keep it for beer money, kind of a deal? Because, well, I don't really send money. I usually deal in person, but when it's a 10-hour drive or 10-hour plus drive, just to put a deposit down, it's a little bit of a stretch. And it would be better to deal with it electronically than to do all that driving and then just to turn around and do all the driving again. So if we can get things squared away, then it'll all be fine. Well, I don't exactly know where I was in terms of the mini projects, but I got 2 of them done and underway before I go for surgery, which is the whole plan, the whole name of the game. Get those squared away and all that. The second one turned out excellent. I'm pretty sure my dad probably would have chose it himself if he had to choose in a lineup of which ones. He would have chose that one. I built her and got her all distressed, like gave her a little bit of character and a staining, as well as a light clear, and then well, we can call her good. It's not like it's going to be a mantelpiece or a showpiece. It's going to go from, well, my hands to, well, in the ground, and that's where it's going to stay. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but at the same time it needs to be presentable, right? So of course today I like to do some editing again, some more uploading, as well as the truck will go in to get have a look at. And if that guy pans out, hey, you never know. If he doesn't, well then, hey, you know, I'll repost the classified ad with the new information, and serious buyers will come out of the woodwork. One of the people sent me a question email on was, hey, I see it has towing mirrors. Does that mean it's towed really, really heavy things? Well, you know, if you guys know that truck, know the time that I bought it, know the time that I've had it in, you'll know that I've never towed anything heavy with it. The largest thing it's ever towed, any great speed or distance, has been that marathon trailer, which weighs like under 2,000 pounds. So it's never towed anything. And yes, I do have pictures of it with the beachcomber behind it. However, the beachcomber only weighed about 2 to maybe 3,000 pounds max when it was full of water. So of course, and it never really got on highway speed. It was all just a block around town here, backing into the driveway and around to the front driveway. So maybe the towing mirrors need to come off. Maybe people think it's been heavy hauled, you know, back and forth, and maybe I'll take those mirrors off it, and hey, you never know, maybe I'll clean them up and sell the mirrors. I know they're a manual set of mirrors, but maybe I could get 75 or 100 bucks for them. As well, there is a grill guard that I could probably sell for 150, and it will change the look of the truck, but at the same time, some of those accessories may not be the new buyer's taste. However, it's character to the truck, you know. Thing is, if I sell those accessories and then I get stuck with the truck, then well, I'm going to want those accessories back, because, well, it's the way that I want the truck to look like, right? So it's a catch-22. Do you tailor the truck to fit the buyer, or do you tailor the truck to fit the current owner, which is me? And if it does sell, then the buyer can deal with how they want their truck to look at that time. But gonna go back inside, do a couple things, and then pretty soon it'll be time to head off to the appointment. Here we are, a little bit of an update. Well, the day is shaping up to be a beautiful day out. It's hard to tell by the thermometer because I think it's out to lunch, but I think we've reached the high of +7 like they were saying. It's kind of weird not seeing the Silverado parked there. However, I suppose if it does sell, I'll have to gotta get used to not seeing it parked there. Well, of course, took the truck down to the shop for the buyer's inspection for, I don't know, the tire kicker buyer that's just wasting my time, but I suppose time will tell on that. I'm not really hoping for much because, well, the last time I took an older vehicle to that particular shop, they dug up a long laundry list of things that were wrong with it, and I, at the time, I couldn't afford to fix it. So of course I just drove the vehicle the way it was without fixing anything. And after 5 years or so of driving the vehicle, it was time for it to pass Alberta safety. And it went from a Saskatchewan vehicle to an Alberta safety inspection. And lo and behold, some of those things that were wrong with the vehicle a few years earlier wasn't wrong with it anymore. So somehow those things had fixed themselves without actually having to fix them. So I'm not saying those people inflate the work orders or so, but all I know is they said there was things wrong with that vehicle that a few years later, after it was driven more kilometers in time, somehow fixed themselves. So maybe it was a bad day, maybe they made a mistake, maybe they're just being really fussy because of the age of the vehicle, so I guess time will tell. All I know is I have a set price in my head that I want for that truck, and the price will not go down at all below that price that I have in my head. Because, well, like I've said before, it's a good truck, and I'm not letting it go for no, rock bottom price. Because, well, it's going to cost me a lot more to replace it than what I'm selling it for. So we'll have to see how that goes. Maybe I'll put the truck into storage for a bit, get some space in the yard to do the new project, which kind of leads me to the next thing. Well, I got the email reply back from the person I emailed this morning, and they did receive my deposit, so that takes a bit of a load off my mind. It's one thing to drive across town or a couple hours away and hand cash in person, but when you start handing cash or start sending cash electronically through a system that really is it for sure that it actually got there, and it's been 3-4 days that without a confirmation phone call, where they should have called me or emailed me and said, hey, yeah, we got your money, great, see you in a few weeks when your new project is ready. They didn't do that. So I emailed him today and said, hey, what's up? Did you get my money, or did you spend it on beer money for the weekend or so, right? And he replies, yeah, we got your deposit, everything's well here, we will inform you when, well, you're ready for pickup, which is really all I wanted here last week. But I guess sometimes, well, they could be a very busy dealership, and sometimes things get forgot about or passed on by, right? So of course, just currently editing up another segment of random road footage. I want to get it up to the Maxwell's World channel and get her live, so it'll all be fine, just a matter of time. Trying to balance out my videos on what's going live, what's to be live, what's to be edited. Trying to get things going and squared away. Time will tell, and everything will work out in its own time. So we'll have to see what happens for the remainder of the day. Just gotta wait for their phone call to say the truck is done. Go down there, pick her on up, and then, well, the rest is history. So yeah, you guessed her. We'll catch y'all later. Here we are, a little bit of a evening update. Well, of course, went out and picked up the keys for the truck, signed the paperwork and stuff. Got them to go over the sheet that they found, and I knew by going to that shop they would get a laundry list of things to do. It may or may not have been the right shop for that truck to have gone to, because I know they're very discriminative against older vehicles. I'm not sure why, but they are. It'd be a good shop for the buyer to take the truck to, and then say to the seller, well, this truck needs $3,000 in work, I'll give you $1,500 for it. Well, it's kind of a bad shop for the seller to take an older truck to, because, well, they don't like older vehicles. Obviously, they got me for my windshield, which I knew was going to be a problem, and the broken windshield washer line. And, well, they don't like the fact the truck doesn't have mud flaps, which I heard from other people, but usually they have those great big wide tires. So far, the cops have left me alone, and even when I've had a police officer look at my own vehicle, they didn't seem to be too concerned about the factory narrow tires kicking up any amount of mud or rocks or anything anyway. But these guys seem to be, as well as, for some odd reason, they took exception to the topper that I have on it. They say that the topper with the truck makes it too tall. Well, I don't understand how it's too tall, because it's barely 6'4". So if that's the case, then a lot of trucks around town are too tall just based on the height of the truck alone. So I think they're just, well, you know, again, being dicks. There's a theory that I've had for quite a few years that the powers that be, whether it's the government or the motor licensing place or the inspection stations, don't want vehicles on the road over like the 10-year, 12-year mark, and they start to be really, really nitpicky over tiny little things. I forget, there's a couple other small things that really don't matter. One of the belts has a couple of cracks in it, which is no big deal. That's just regular wear and tear, you know, semi-maintenance, if you want to say. If I was driving the truck more, of course, you know, all that stuff would have been changed. Apparently, one of my license plate illuminator bulbs is out, which actually, technically, under the fine rule of the law, you only need one bulb to actually illuminate the license plate. You don't need both. However, through an inspection station like that, if it's there and it's burnt out, then it needs to be changed, because I remember that from back in the day when, you know, I used to work at a shop. However, on a scale of 1 to 10, they actually said it was one of the best 2003 Chevrolet Silverados they've seen come through their shop in a long time. So, like I said, there is nothing wrong with that truck. I will probably, you know, do a price adjustment and disclose some of the things they found in the inspection report in the next round of classified ads. You know, like I said, drop the price a little bit and dicker from there. I will not go much lower than it already is, because, well, when you got yourself a good vehicle, you got yourself a good vehicle, and I can't afford to replace it. And you know, maybe hindsight, I should have used it as a trade-in for the 2016 GMC Canyon. However, what would the dealership have truthfully gave me for it? You know, would they have gave me my asking price that I want for it? Or would they have gave me like $1,500 on trade on the new vehicle, which is already $3,000 or more overinflated on the price? So really, you're giving them your truck, and then they turn around and hang a pine air freshener in it and sell it for 10 grand to the next sucker, and here they just made a bunch of money, right? I'm hoping after I have this surgery and to go through whatever physio program is going to happen, things will get back to where they need to be, to the point where I can drive that truck. Yes, I did buy it in whatever it would have been the new year of 2013. So it's been a few years that it has been around. However, I haven't got the driving out of it. when I look at my paperwork, and I bought it at about 141,000 kilometers or 42,000 K, and now it's just about to turn over to 149. So it's got nothing for driving. You know, I've put almost as much kilometers on my new 2016 truck in the few months that I've had it as what I've put on the Silverado in the years that I've had it. So in hindsight, you know, maybe I shouldn't have bought it. However, I was going through a personal issue, which I won't really get into deeply, that I was told was going to resolve a different way than what it did. So that was why I bought the Silverado. Because if I was going to go through what I was going to go through, I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be without a vehicle. So that's why I wanted to make sure I had that truck. And you know, it might have been an impulse buy. It might have been maybe I should have waited. However, if you wait, you won't find another one like it. You know, 4.3 liter V6 5-speed plain Jane, you know, tilt, cruise and air, but none of those fancy options. And 4-wheel drive, it wasn't a must, but it does come in handy once in a while. Yes, I did have the 2009 Canyon. However, you know, that may or may not have been around much more after that, or, you know, during those times. Plus, it was basically just a glorified, overpriced car, because with the 4-cylinder motor, it couldn't have hauled much than a 2,000-pound utility trailer. However, at the stage of my life in 2009, when I bought that truck, that was the best truck I could afford at the time. And, you know, we all got to start somewhere, right? We can't go and buy the best. We got to start out and work our way up. There are some that are lucky that have the money to waste or to burn and couldn't go buy a $60,000 truck every year or two. Then there's some of us that have to work our way up, and we go through several vehicles before we're able to get that first brand new truck. And then if it's not what we need, then we're kind of stuck with it, or we have to use it until it's paid for, until such a time as we can afford to, you know, sell it, right? And that's kind of what I did there. Is I got the 2009 paid for, then traded it off on the 2015 Canyon. However, things kind of changed there with the job situation and stuff, and I had to make a choice whether to keep the Canyon and risk going deeper in debt, possibility of losing the house, or sell the Canyon, keep the house, and survive. Now I probably could have made do, given the situation, how things turned out. Probably could have made do for another 6 months until things turned around or ended up the way they did going. However, I didn't know at the time that things were going to go as large of a change as they did. And that was kind of why I bought the 2016 Canyon so quick, was because, well, kind of trying to get back what you have lost, right? In the meantime, you still have the old Silverado, and now with the injury that I have, you know, being difficult to drive and all, you're contemplating the future of that there truck. I've asked around on some of my relatives and stuff. However, they've got families, or they've got other wants or needs, and they're not really interested in a truck like that. You know, they'd rather have the power windows or power locks or leather or navigation or 12 doors to haul, you know, all their children and things like that. So a truck like that kind of gets passed up on. You know, like I said, we'll see how the future holds. I will do a price drop or two more. I could really keep it listed all summer for all that mattered. I'm pretty sure eventually, as people get back to work in the next year or two, they will need a rig rocket to get back and forth to their rig crew. A truck like that, that is a starter truck that would only be a fraction of the price of the truck they got repossessed a few months earlier, would be something they would pick up to get by until such a time as they can qualify for another loan or get their paychecks going to buy another truck. So we'll have to see how it goes, kind of one day at a time, one step at a time. One of the nice things about having the vehicle semi-inspected or looked over is it gives me, the owner, a general reference to the mechanical shape of his own truck. You know, it lets them know that there quite possibly could be an issue here in the future, or, you know, this here should be changed, or, you know, maybe that little clunk you feel in the front end that you had asked your other mechanic shop to look at that they could not seem to find. Maybe that's what that clunk is. So, you know, the question is do I sink another $2,000 into that truck? Granted, $2,000 more would probably fix a lot of the things that are wrong with it, and then some, including a set of tires, which, again, I knew the set of tires needed to be changed years ago. That was why I bought the cheap set, the used half wore out set, was because when I got the truck, it needed front end work. And I put the cheapest half wore out used set of tires on there because I knew the front end would chew them up. And last year, or actually the fall, in October, when I thought that I'd be doing a lot of trips to the city, I went and put a bunch of money into that truck, thinking, well, I'd be able to drive it back and forth to the city all winter. And then the powers that be did what they did, and decided not to do what they said they were going to do. So then they held off all winter, and in the meantime, I went and bought the 2016 Canyon, and the Silverado has pretty much sat ever since. I've been considering putting it out into storage. However, again, I kind of like to have eyes on my valuables, because if it's out of storage, you never know if someone's jacked it up and took the wheels off it, or broke into it and took the stereo out of it, or took it all in general, right? And until you go out there one day to start it, and there's nowhere to stick the key because the steering column is gone. However, I think the storage place that I'm at is fairly secure, fairly decent. I don't believe they have a lot of problems. It's a fairly secure storage facility, so we'll have to see how that goes. I can't really afford to buy another storage stall or rent another stall, plus the one I already have, so we'll have to see how that goes in the future. Well, it looks like we may be possibility in for a shower. It's starting to darken up a little bit toward the west. Edmonton, Alberta got themselves some snow today, so we might be getting rain, or we could end up with snow. We never know until it hits. Time will tell, and around we go, and you gets her. We'll have to see how she goes, and we'll probably see y'all around supper. Well, hello YouTube. Here we are with a wonderful -2 Celsius night. Well, we come to the end of our day. It was a busy day, was a good day. Kept going and rolling, got things done. And, well, in the works for other things. Well, took the truck to the shop, had them do the inspection on it as per request of the very interested buyer, or so he said. And, well, of course, messaged that guy saying it come out of the shop to give me a shout, and he hasn't messaged me back, so just like I figured he was a tire kicker, I should never have took it in for the inspection. It was just a waste of my money and my time. But hey, you never know, right? You gotta give the guy a benefit of being a serious and an actual buyer, rather than just some meth head with a laptop and, you know, causing mischief, right? Well, of course, heard back from the guy that I sent the money to last week. He did get my deposit, so we can move on from there. I was wondering what was going on, if the money got lost. Because, well, money's money, right? And you can't afford to lose any amount of money right now. Nor really could you before. So it's nice to know that he got it and all. And he will give me a shout when it's ready to pick up. When that time comes, there will be a road trip, of course. I just have to decide how elaborate of a road trip I want to do. Do I want to make it a trip, or just an up and back? you know, 12 hours of hit the road and back kind of a deal, or if I want to make it a weekend of it. We'll have to see how it goes and what happens from there. But pretty much, guys, gonna end her all here. Remember, we do have a fan mail box. The address is down below. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.